Mulishani, my name is Mutindambebana and welcome to the Chosen Generation. Karabo Mukwena, Uyinene, Tsegofatsopule, just names of a few ladies that have left us prematurely. And what was their crime? To be born in a specific gender. Today we put crosshairs on gender-based violence. Is there a solution to this scourge of society? I don't know the answer to this question, and so I've invited with me distinguished guests who are going to help us deal with this issue. The first guest here with us today is Khatla Matsatsi. We also have with us Ntsiki Kulubela. We are also joined by Koketso Mantati. And last but not least, we are joined by Damaris Motlapa Maswi. I hope I got that right. To our viewers at home, you can share your comments with us. The hashtag is TCG on SID. Let us know what you think and join the conversation. It's now time for us to get right into the topic.
Okay, so basically what needs to be done firstly is to also acknowledge that men suffer from gender-based violence as well. At the same time, we also need to bring strict measures when it comes to gender-based violence, because you realize that there are a lot of women there that are being violated, but then they really can't speak out. And we really need to empower women and also men to speak out when it comes to gender-based violence. Secondly, gender-based violence, as I have seen, it's really prevalent amongst women. But then this idea of what will I do if I leave this man, if I report this man to the police, because I have children, and they'll say my mother is the reason why my father is in jail and stuff like that. So basically we really need to empower women. And in this country, as I have seen, it's really high, but then there are less cases that are reported. Women, yes, women and men and even kids are suffering in silence just because we really can't go out there and find help when it comes to issues of gender-based violence.
First things first, I think young people will really understand this. Do not ignore red flags in a relationship. Let's start from there. You feel like a guy is violent, they're abusing you emotionally. Before it even gets to being physical, the verbal and the emotional, just leave him. Because the next thing, it moves from being verbal to being physical, and all those things. So I feel like let's start by not ignoring red flags. Let's start from there. So maybe we can talk.
Right. I want to start with you, Kokecho. Maybe let's start here, Kokecho. What is gender-based violence? How would you define that?
Okay, gender-based violence is a violation of women's rights, and it's actually a barrier when it comes to gender equality. And as a result, us as a society or community, we are unable to move forward because of it, because men are more viewed with power and then women are suppressed.
Okay, that's interesting. Does it happen the other way around, where it's a man who has been abused by a woman? Even the definition, does it consider that?
Okay, unfortunately, I can put it like this. Most of our cases, it's women.
Okay.
I can say 98% of cases, when it comes to gender-based violence, it's women. So when it comes to men, it's a bit less.
Okay.
Yes.
Then it's right for us to put more focus on the woman. I think I should bring in Matsatsi here, Khatla. What do you think or rather, you are part of an organization. I didn't say in the beginning, POA, I think it is, what's the acronym? People Opposing Women and Abuse. Oh, wonderful. Right, what do you do? What's your work? What's your role? What is your service to the society?
Okay, POA as an organization, what we do is that we empower and educate the society, or
Okay.
should I say, the victims of gender-based violence. We give them a safe and secure space, and the roles that we actually do is that we offer legal services to our victims. We give we offer support legally,
Okay.
and educate our victims on the kind of information that they can actually get, because you find that most of the victims don't even know where to go or where to start about everything, so they become so confused, and while as giving them counseling at the same time.
That's a powerful service that you're offering. Nsiki, perhaps when I started in the introduction, I mentioned some of the popular stories, and we all know, we've seen the stories in the media. What are some of the other stories that you see in your consultation room when people come? What are they presenting? What are they telling you about their experiences?
It's a lot, but you find one would come to the office presenting that I'm dealing with somebody who has many personalities.
Oh,
One
wow.
minute he's happy, and the next I'm totally wrong for doing whatever I need to get instructions to do things. Yeah, so it's very challenging and confusing at a point whereby if somebody doesn't understand, if maybe somebody that is in a relationship with has a mental disorder of some sort, it's not easy to even identify that that person has a problem.
Wow, okay, that's interesting. Perhaps, Damaris, I should bring you in. Do you perhaps think that the reason for this scourge could be a mental health issue? Do you think that there is a mental health aspect somehow in this situation? If you, Ntsiki, mentioned that someone is coming in saying, you know, I don't know which person I'm going to meet tonight. Do you perhaps think there could be a mental health aspect to the problem that we are facing?
Yes, I think definitely it does, because the stresses are caused by the psychosocial things, like psychosocial factors when you do interact with people. So psychosocial factors, like we indicated, it can be finances, it can be workplace stress, it can be family related issues. So whatever that it is the person is going through might take their frustrations to their partners when they get home, or to their kids or anyone else who is there, who is available to take frustrations on. So I can say it does get into the mental health related issues, because if I come from wherever I come from and things didn't go the way, obviously my thinking is affected. Obviously my brain is affected, my way of doing things is going to be affected. So there is a high possibility of me doing things that is going to harm another party.
Maybe I should bring this up. Not everybody who's got mental health issues commits such gruesome crimes.
Yes.
And do we then excuse people who come with mental health and they say, no, I wasn't myself, I was, you know, is that an
No,
excuse that we
no.
can use?
No, not at all. Because if you are saying, I think I had depression, that's why I
Yes.
hit whoever and whoever. No, we don't promote that. Because if you have depression, then you must get professional help. You can't be taking it on someone else. You can't be going around beating people to say, because I have bipolar, there is nothing you have to do about it. No, you have to deal with your mental health issues so that you don't affect those around you. That's unfair.
Wow, okay, that's interesting. It seems like there's help for you out there if you may be going through an abusive situation. You can share your views with us. The hashtag is TCG on SID. Let us know what your stories are. Let us know if you need any help. We love to hear from you, our viewers. We are now going to the break, but we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to The Chosen Generation. We are still talking about gender-based violence. We love hearing from you, so speak to us. The hashtag is TCG on SID. Share your story with us and let us know what you think. Now, back to the question at hand, or the conversation. I'd like to bring you in, Damaris. Maybe let's look at it from the angle of the abuser. When the abuser perpetrates some of these crimes, what is in the mind of the abuser? What is the person thinking that leads them to do such things? That's the first part of the question. But then we also have to look at the experience of the victim. What is the victim thinking while this thing is being, or this abuse is being perpetrated upon them?
Okay, I hear you are saying, what is it that they are thinking?
Yes.
I cannot really say I know exactly what they're thinking,
Yes.
but like I explained from the psychological point of view, it can be that there is a lot going on in that person's thinking. So by that time, it can be a lot of stressors that can lead to whatever that has happened. But remember, the perpetrator also, they want to take out the void they're feeling. So it's the same as with the victim, like you asked the question.
Yeah.
So the victim, when they see the perpetrator, they see someone obviously who is violent, someone who is unfair, someone who just want to do things on them, sorry, without their consent or anything like that. So I'll go back to the perpetrator. Obviously, also, they want to take out the frustrations and everything like that. But unfortunately, that is not a very good way of doing it. So it's unfair to the victim. So what do we do with the victim? So the victim, obviously, by then, they're thinking of the possible escapes or possible safe ways of finding themselves a safer place, or where they can hide or something or whatever. But at that time, it is difficult. You know how the brain works. Like, it can be quick, it can be slower, depending on the situation. Like, even when you are driving, like, you can sometimes say, I observed, then the next thing someone hits you. So it's like that also when with that kind of situations, to say you need to think faster, you need to act urgently, but to where? Do you have options? Or do you just have to let the perpetrator victimize you? So
That's interesting. That now, Damaris, you have spoken about the mental condition, or the things that are happening, or the possible things that could be happening in the mind of the victim and also the abuser. And I guess this is where I bring you in, Matsat. Now knowing how the scenario plays out in when the abuse is taking place, what do you think, therefore, is our contribution as a community, or what could we do as a community to prevent the abuse from taking place? What is our contribution as a community?
You know, I always say that in terms of contributing,
Yeah.
it starts when we're still young.
Okay.
The way that we are raised as kids determines the kind of person that we actually are. Because I believe that socialism takes place here. We are being taught as young as we are that a girl should stay at home, clean, cook, and do whatever. But then a boy child is expected to come back from school, do their homework, go out and enjoy themselves. We are already teaching them that the boy has more power over the girl. That boy grows up later on, becomes a man, meets up a lady that comes from a very strong, bolded family. That's where the problem begins, because the boy is used to a girl being submissive to them. You understand? So by then, that's when the abuse begins. When the lady speaks out, she then becomes what? Disobedient.
Okay.
The abuse begins. So I believe that it starts from when we're still young. You know, kids, the way we raise them, we should be careful of the kind of things we feed them and the way we grow them. That's just
That's interesting. I think what you're saying is a mouthful. From the way that we are bringing up and raising children, that's our biggest contribution to the problems that we're facing in society. Is it possible then, after such a trauma that you've experienced, is it possible then to move ahead? Would you even advise that someone moves ahead and have other relationships after surviving an abuse of such a nature?
Sometimes in life, obviously you need the next person who will obviously be your partner.
Okay.
And when you're from that kind of a relationship, and now you're afraid of entering in another relationship because of your past experiences and the trauma that you experienced. What one should do boldly, you need from the word go. When you're starting a new relationship and you be like, you know what, this is me, I don't tolerate 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have been there, I can't go there again.
Okay.
You understand? And when that happens, you're sending the message to your partner, right? That this is the kind of relationship that I want to be. I don't tolerate 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe that when you be in a relationship when it's a new relationship, obviously you would want to know the intentions of your partner, and obviously he would want to know your intentions. What do you want to gain from this relationship? So if you, from the word go, you tell your partner that, you know what, I don't tolerate 1, 2, 3, 4. I have been there, I've been abused. Just know that if you're gonna try that with me, I won't stay, I am leaving. So it's very much important to tell.
Do you think there are any signs that one can look for to see if maybe I'm with a possible abuser? What are some of the things that you think, is it even possible to know that a person can be an abuser?
It's possible, because there are always red flags, you know, and communication is very much important. The way the person interacts with you, you must be very careful. You understand? If the person is someone that the person can just lose a temper out of nowhere, and then he starts shouting, and then after a while the person comes, I am sorry. You need to be very careful of that kind of a person, because you might be even dealing with someone with a lot of personalities. You understand? Someone who is having mood swings. I understand, yes, we go out, we go and work, we have things that affect us at the workplace, and then you come back home to your partner. You need to draw the line. You need to know the boundaries. If you come from work and then you take whatever stress from work, then you implement in our relationship, obviously that is going to be a problem, because I'm being affected now. I'm paying for whatever things that people have done to you at work. So they are always red flags.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I think I need a break. I need a break. So to our viewers at home, continue to talk to us on the hashtag TCG on SID. Let us know what you think. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to The Chosen Generation. We are still talking about gender-based violence. Again, we encourage you to share your views with us. The hashtag TCG on SID. Let us know what you think. Back to the conversation. I would like to bring you in here, Kokecho. Before the break, you were talking about some of the signs that can cause this. And I guess one of the things that we tell ourselves is, he just shouted, he just swore, he didn't really hit me, or stuff like. We tell ourselves, is it important for us to sort of weigh the type of abuse and say, this one I can stand for, that one I cannot stand for? Where do we draw the line?
Okay. You know what? Abuse is abuse.
Okay.
We can't try to shade it or try to run away from it. And I can give you an example that sometimes it happens that your partner can verbally abuse you. You understand? And then let me say you use a certain weight. You understand? And then you feel that this is the first time he says something like this to me. So you must be conscious from there, because after that, it might be verbal and it goes where? To physical. So it's very much important that you be very careful when it comes to that. When the abuser says something that you don't like, you need to be okay, what is going to happen next, because you don't know what this person is thinking. So yes, it is possible that someone can abuse you verbally. And after the verbal, then that's when the action comes in.
Yeah.
And then you're in it, and it goes on and on and on.
Yeah, wow. Maybe I should bring you in here, Matsat. Do you think there's a manipulative element to abusers in the way that they do things? You know, either you blame victims, bring presents after hitting somebody, or, you know, justifying their behavior. But if you do not speak to me that way, I would not have done this, you know. Is there that level of manipulation?
Definitely there is, because you find that in most cases, what they do, they try and make the victims feel as if they are the ones that are wrong.
Okay.
You made me do this. That's the reason I did that. And like you said, they like to buy gifts, make you feel as if you're important for that moment. But they know what they did is wrong. Yes.
Wow. What do you think? What do you think we can? how can we go beyond that? Do you then say, I like the gifts, or how do you decide what is more important, the gifts or the relationship? How does a woman work those things out in their minds?
You know, there's that element of I want to be loved.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Wow.
We as women, we want to be loved. We want to feel love. And we feel that the minute he brings those things, gosh, he sweeps me off my feet. You understand? Yes.
Then I can forget what he has done.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Mam Tsiki, I think after what has been said, there's definitely a need for education. How do you think we can educate our communities about gender-based violence?
Yeah, okay. One, we listen. With us, we listen to the clients that comes to us.
Okay.
And that's where we pick up the most topics to pick when you say you have a support group. Let's say we have a support group of ladies.
Okay.
To say, let's talk, because we have faced maybe different abuses from the childhood up until this age. And that's where you learn, this has this problem, this has this problem. Then together with the community, that's where you come up with solutions to say, let's go out more, let's distribute pamphlets, and let's teach the community and churches to be less judgmental towards us as people who faces abuse and stay.
Okay.
You see, sometimes we need to empathize with these people and not judge them because of maybe I'm from Lesotho and I was here to look for a job and I met you and after a while you changed for me and you started abusing me. I don't have anybody that I know here. I only know you.
Oh, wow.
You understand? And where do I go?
Yeah.
If I don't get pamphlets that are going to tell me with the services of power or any NGO that is offering services like Power does, where will I go? I'm stuck by you. I'm at your mercy at most points. Exactly.
I think Damaris, she brings up a very important point, that one of the strategies is to isolate you from your support structure so that they can do whatever they want. How does someone get out of that rut of being stuck to dependent upon that person so that you're unable to escape?
Okay, that is a psychological issue. It's more on attachment issues, being dependent on certain people or certain things. So for that, we do offer therapeutic interventions to deal with such things. And like she mentioned, that sometimes you don't have anywhere to go. Sometimes I'm stuck with you. I don't know anyone around here. But from our professional point of view, we always say to the victims, you know the signs, the signs, you know what can happen, like you know this person. What are you doing? How are you helping the situation? So from our side, we are trying to
make them see the red flags
Okay.
and help them escape from the red flags. We don't encourage them to say, like someone mentioned, I don't know if it's her or her, that sometimes you can see, but because of love, this person loves me. There is no way this person can love you and abuse you and, like she said, and say sorry after 2 hours. No, that is toxic. That is very toxic. So from our psychological point of view, we deal with such traits to say, you know this, but what are you doing? What are you doing with this? What are you doing with this situation? How are you helping us? Because psychology as well, we help you, but you must help yourself as well. If I come as a psychologist and say, but you knew the signs, what did you do? Nothing. Then how do I help you? It's going to be difficult. We do, but it's very challenging.
And that is how we end the show. I'd like to take this moment to actually thank you for coming and availing yourselves to, you know, deal with such an important issue in the society. Really, thank you so much. Much appreciated. And perhaps to our viewers at home, would like to thank you for allowing us into your space, and we hope to see you again in the following episodes that are to come. And perhaps a final word. You touch a woman, you touch the rock. And I am talking about the rock of ages, who is Jesus Christ. You know, one of the most important things that we need to realize is that Jesus really cares. The other day in John chapter 8, self-righteous men were trying to stone a lady there, and he interposed and dealt with the situation. And my last word to you is, let us emulate Jesus, because he is the one who saves, who sanctifies and satisfies. And lastly, I would like to say, continue to chat with us. The hashtag is TCG on SID. Let us know what you think, and you can share your stories with us as well. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It is the SID Media on YouTube. We'd love to see you there also. Thank you so much for being with us in this episode, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.